So good afternoon, all participants. Today's resource person has been joined. So welcome to Dr. Nidhi Arora, ma'am. Uh, so hand over to this technical session to Nidhi, ma'am. Ma'am, you are
Yes,
audible?
yes, you are audible. Just give me 5 minutes, we'll start. Okay, there is some
Yes, yes,
technical
yes.
glitch. Just
Oh,
give me 5 minutes.
okay, okay.
A very good afternoon to each and everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and my PPT is also visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about the student diversity and inclusive education, which is one of the theme of NEP. Right? We'll have two sessions on this. First session basically talk about the mentor-mentee system. And I have divided this presentation into two parts. In first part, we'll just have a brief overview in respect to the NAP, that whether we were having any policy before NAP or not. If yes, then what was the reason behind having the new education policy? And we'll try to understand two concepts. That is the diversity and inclusivity. And the another part, second part of the today's session, we'll talk about the mentor-mentee system. Okay, so NAP. First of all, NAP, we all know that it came in 2020. And see, we were having several other policies, rules, regulation before NAP 2020 also. But what was the need of having this NAP? See, it is a comprehensive framework which is designed to guide the development of education in India. And very importantly, it is applicable in a universal manner, that is from preschool to the higher education. And even this policy aims to transform the Indian education landscape to make it more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, and very importantly, that it should be aligned with the need of 21st century, right? Because what is our aim behind it? Our aim is to bring out the unique capabilities of each and every student. Means each and every student need the support. We cannot isolate or we cannot discriminate between the students on any factor. So if you will see, there are certain key features of NAP. First, it talks, NAP focuses on mother tongue. Now, what is the reason behind focusing on the mother tongue? To ensure better understanding and retention of for children, right? That's why NAP recommends that we should teach these students in the vernacular language or the mother tongue, preferably till grade 8, so that they can retain the thing, they can understand the concept, and we can keep them away from the rote memorization, right? Then it talks about technology integration. Right now, how we are connecting, we are also connecting with the help of technology, right? That's why NAP emphasize the use of technology in education, and very importantly in a productive manner, which include digital education, online teaching, and digitally equipping the schools as well as teachers. So whenever there's a need of training for the teachers, that should be given, because each and every person is not that well versed with technology. That's why policy advocates for the robust training for teachers to ensure that they are prepared to handle the new and inclusive curriculum. And somehow it also aimed to raise the standard of teacher education and training, right? Then assessment reforms. Now there's a very simple question from you all, that as you all are academicians, how you all take internal assessments? What process or what technique do you opt to take an internal assessment of the students? Anyone would like to share their point of view? You all are academicians now. How you all take assessment? Okay. Oral. Anyone else? See, generally what we do, we give a same form of assignment to each and every person, means same form of assignment to the whole class. Do you think you are doing justice with the students? No, right? Because when we talk about diversity, there is a diversity even on the basis of learning ability. So the caliber of each and every student is different, and we have to focus on each and every student. We have to do the justice, we have to follow the principle of equality. So in that case, just make a pool of assignments. That is, that assignment includes written assignment, PowerPoint presentation, poster making, or you can say research paper writing, anything. And ask student to select any, whatever they want, and then evaluate the student, right? Then you will able to do the justice with the student, right? So NAP basically aims to revamp the current assessment system in schools, colleges, right, with a new form, which encourages understanding and application of knowledge rather than rote memorization. Right? It includes talks about the holistic progress of the student. You should give the multiple attempts to them. In India, the major policy is in respect to what? In respect to the funds. That even after having the funds, what we generally say that we don't have funds, right? So for that, this policy has set up gender inclusion fund and special education zones. For whom? For the disadvantaged regions or group, because even they have a right to an education. We cannot discriminate on any basis, right? So this policy is basically a single overreaching umbrella body for the entire education sector. Now, goal of NEP. Now, first, inclusivity and diversity, what our theme says. So, to ensure that education is accessible to all segments of society, NAP emphasizes creating equitable learning opportunities, right? And this basically involves addressing the need of diverse population, including marginalized and disadvantaged groups, right? If you see the Constitution of India, Part 3 of the Constitution, in this there is Article 21A, which talks about right to an education, and that is a fundamental right of the citizens. So, what we have to do? We have to elevate the quality of education across all levels. And how you will elevate it, right? By revamping the curriculum, pedagogy, assessment methods, and teacher training. उसी से तो आप क्वालिटी एजुकेशन इम्प्रूव करेंगे, राइट? यूनिवर्सल एक्सेस टू एजुकेशन की बात करें, हमारा गोल क्या है कि हमें 100% यूथ एंड अडल्ट लिटरेसी रेट को अचीव करना है, राइट? So whether achieving the 100% youth and adult literacy rate is possible at first instance, no. You have to take small gradual step to achieve the 100% youth adult literacy rate, right? And how you will evaluate that you are moving in a right direction to achieve the 100% youth adult literacy rate or not? हम कैसे इस चीज को इवेल्युएट कर सकते हैं, राइट? तो सिंपल सा इसके लिए फॉर्मूला है that if dropout rates in the mainstream has been reduced, means you are moving in a right direction to achieve the 100% youth and adult literacy rate. Right? Then promoting multilingualism. As we have already seen that NAP is focusing on what? It is focusing on using the mother tongue, regional language, at least till grade 8, so that we can enhance learning effectiveness and cultural pride among students. Right? Next, importance of NAP. See, first is social equity. Now, to make education inclusive and diverse, नैप क्या कर रहा है? देखो दो चीजें हैं, एजुकेशनल सेक्टर और सोसाइटी, और एजुकेशन सेक्टर और सोसाइटी के बीच में बहुत ज्यादा गैप है, और नैप उसी गैप को ब्रिज करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. नैप एम्स टू ब्रिज द गैप बिटवीन एजुकेशन सेक्टर एंड द सोसाइटी. और अगर हम उस गैप को ब्रिज कर पाएंगे तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम एक तरीके से सोशल इक्विटी को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं. देन इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ. अगर हमारे पास में स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स है, राइट, लिटरेसी रेट इंप्रूव हुई है, तो हमारे पास स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स है, और अगर हमारे पास में स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स है तो वो डायरेक्टली किसको कंट्रीब्यूट कर रही है? हमारे इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द कंट्री को. So, a diverse and inclusive education system prepares a skilled workforce which derives innovation and supports India's ambition to be a major global economy. Then national cohesion, sense of belongingness, right? So education that respects and incorporates diverse culture, लैंग्वेज, रीजनल आइडेंटिटीज। तो एक तरीके से वो क्या फोस्टर कर रहा है, वो नेशनल यूनिटी और सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंगनेस लाने की कोशिश कर रहा है अमंग ऑल द सेक्शंस ऑफ सोसाइटी, and global competitiveness. So by adopting the global best practices in education and ensuring that all children can access high quality education, but high quality education बिना कोई discrimination के on the basis of their identities or background, तभी हम कह पाएंगे that India enhances its competitiveness on the world stage. So this was just an overview of the NAP. Now there are two concepts, diversity and inclusivity. So we'll try to understand these two concepts in reference to the NAP or education, right? So whenever we talk about diversity, it refers to the acknowledgement, appreciation of differences. Differences किसके basis पे? Identity के basis पे among students, right? तो हमें सिर्फ डाइवर्सिटी के प्रोज की बात करनी है, राइट? क्योंकि हम डाइवर्सिटी को एज एन एसेट कंसिडर करके चल रहे हैं, राइट, नॉट एज अ बैरियर. तो वील ओनली टॉक अबाउट द प्रोज ऑफ इट. तो डाइवर्सिटी में क्या है, जब हम एक्नॉलेज कर रहे हैं, अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हैं, बच्चों के बीच में हमें जो डिफरेंसेस दिख रहे हैं, डाइवर्सिटी दिख रही है आइडेंटिटी के बेसिस पे, जैसे कि एथनिसिटी हो गया, रिलीजन हो गया, कल्चर हो गया, लैंग्वेज हो गया, माइंड हमें कभी भी उनके बीच में डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं करना है. एंड इफ आई से दैट वी कैन एलिमिनेट द डाइवर्सिटी फ्रॉम द क्लास, नो, we cannot eliminate. Even we cannot eliminate diversity from this society. That is not practically possible, right? So NAP emphasizes creating education environment which respect and embrace these differences. क्यों? क्यों रिकॉग्नाइज करने की हम इससे बात कर रहे हैं? टू एंश्योर दैट ईच एंड एवरी स्टूडेंट हैज द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू लर्न एंड सक्सीड. फिर हमारा दूसरा प्रिंसिपल आता है इंक्लूजन. सी दीज आर लाइक टू डिफरेंट साइड्स ऑफ अ सेम कॉइन. तो जब इंक्लूजन की बात कर रहे हैं, ये सारे एजुकेशन सेटिंग्स इंस्टीट्यूशन यूज करते हैं. ये एक सिस्टमेटिक और स्ट्रेटेजिक एफर्ट है, right, which educational settings generally use to ensure that all students, regardless of their diverse background or abilities, they are welcomed, they are valued, and given equal access to all educational opportunities, right? If I talk about cultural diversity, see, cultural diversity में हमें क्या करना है? We have to recognize, we have to respect unique cultural background tradition जो कि एक बच्चा क्लासरूम में ला रहा है, right? Means we should not be biased with any particular culture. Then linguistic diversity, जहाँ हम लैंग्वेज की बात कर रहे हैं, तो whenever there is a presence of multiple language and dialects in the class, तो आप देखना आपका क्लासरूम एनवायरनमेंट रिच होता है, आपका क्लासरूम डिस्कशन रिच होगा. सोशियो इकोनॉमिक डाइवर्सिटी, अब देखो बच्चे अलग अलग इकोनॉमिक बैकग्राउंड से आ रहे हैं, तो उनके एक्सपीरियंसेस, उनके पर्सपेक्टिव्स अलग होंगे. ट्राई टू डिस्कस देम सो दैट दूसरे बच्चे भी उनसे इन्फ्लुएंस हो, एक्सपीरियंस गेन करें. डाइवर्स लर्निंग नीड्स, सारे बच्चे की कैलिबर कैपेसिटी सेम नहीं. देयर इज अ डाइवर्सिटी इन द लर्निंग एबिलिटी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट. तो यहाँ पे कौन रोल प्ले कर रहा है? टीचर एक बहुत वाइटल रोल प्ले करता है कि उनको अलग अलग स्ट्रेटेजीज ऑप्ट करनी चाहिए पढ़ाने के लिए, so that teacher can do justice with the student. What are the benefits of diverse education environment, right? So when we talk about benefits of it, पहला enhanced learning experience. आपका लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस इनहेंस कैसे होगा डाइवर्सिटी की वजह से? पहला, रिच क्लासरूम डिस्कशन है, क्योंकि अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स मिलेंगे. जब अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स आएंगे बच्चों से, तो दैट विल लीड टू व्हाट? दैट विल लीड टू रिचर डिस्कशन, दैट विल फॉस्टर अ डीपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट मैटर, right? And it will definitely promote the critical thinking and the brainstorming. अगर बच्चा critical thinking कर रहा है, brainstorming कर रहा है, तभी हम बोल सकते हैं कि वो बच्चा कहीं ना कहीं रोट मेमोराइजेशन नहीं कर रहा है, ही और शी इज ट्राइंग टू एनालाइज द थिंग। इसलिए मैं जनरली सारी टीचर से रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ, कभी भी अपने क्वेश्चन पेपर व्हाट, वेयर, व्हेन, हाउ इनसे ना ड्राफ्ट करिए। ये क्वेश्चन पेपर कौन कैसे होते हैं? डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस हैं। बच्चा क्या करेगा? बच्चा यहाँ पे सिर्फ रोट मेमोराइजेशन करेगा, वो चीजें रट के लिख देगा, राइट? तो हमें तो बच्चे को रोट मेमोराइजेशन नहीं कराना है, उससे दूर ले जाना है। तो आप इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन, सिचुएशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस बनाने की कोशिश करिए जहाँ पे बच्चे को क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग करने की जरूरत पड़े, राइट? देन कल्चरल एक्सचेंज होगा। Students will learn about different cultures directly from home, directly from their peers, which promote mutual respect and social cohesion. Then preparation for a global workforce. Global competence है, students develop skills to work effectively in increasingly globalized industry, right? And even they will adapt new skills, they will learn new skills, they will get exposure to diverse classmates, right? It will increase the creativity and problem solving skills. जब different different perspectives आएंगे बच्चों के, a blend of diverse views will be there. तो what student will do? Student will do more creative and comprehensive solution to problem. अगर n number of हमारे पास में perspectives आए हैं, तो which is more useful, which is more fruitful, हम उसकी analysis तो करेंगे. Innovative thinking, स्टूडेंट विल इंटरेक्ट विद डिफरेंट पीपल फ्रॉम डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड, और वो भी एक तरीके से स्टिमुलेट क्या करेगा? आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स थिंकिंग एंड इनोवेशन among the student, right? So it is very clear from this that we have to consider the diversity as a strength. Now next is inclusive education. हमने इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन देख लिया क्या है, बट बहुत सिंपल मैं बताऊं तो इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन एक बहुत सिंपल से प्रिंसिपल पे बेस्ड ऑन है, दैट इज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस एंड इंक्लूजन ऑफ ऑल दी स्टूडेंट्स, जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स अपने डिफरेंस को एज एन एसेट देखें, नॉट एज अ बैरियर टू सक्सेस, राइट? देन सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन. अब इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन का बेसिकली सिग्निफिकेंस है क्या? सबसे पहला हमारा आता है सोशल जस्टिस, right? So inclusive education is basically rooted in the right to education for all, advocating for equal opportunities for all, right? All the students. And ये जो एक अप्रोच है इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन की, ये हेल्प करती है आपको इन डिसमेंटलिंग ऑफ बैरियर्स टू लर्निंग एंड पार्टिसिपेशन. आपको हेल्प करेंगे इन कॉम्बेटिंग द डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, और आप एजुकेशनल कल्चर और रिस्पेक्ट, सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंगनेस को बहुत इजीली प्रमोट कर पाएंगे, एंड दैट इज सोशल जस्टिस. देन इक्वालिटी, by adapting the learning environment so that it responds to the diversity of student around them, right? Inclusive education upholds the value of equality among all the students. It ensures that each student has an equal chance to succeed through customized teaching strategy. हम एक फॉर्म ऑफ टीचिंग, एक फॉर्म ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजी हर बच्चे के लिए यूज नहीं कर सकते हैं. बीइंग अ टीचर, हमें हमारे स्ट्रेटेजीज को कस्टमाइज करना पड़ेगा एज पर द नीड ऑफ द स्टूडेंट. मे बी आपको अलग अलग फॉर्म में असेसमेंट लेना पड़े, वे ऑफ टीचिंग जिसमें विजुअल फॉर्म, ऑडियो विजुअल फॉर्म, रियल लाइफ सिनेरियो सब आपको एक्सप्लेन करने पड़े, राइट? देन इकोनॉमिक एफिशिएंसी. Educating students inclusively enhance their potential to become productive member of society, which in turn basically contributes to what? It contributes to the economic development of the country. And there is substantial evidence that inclusive education results in better social and economic outcome for all. अब इस चीज को भी हम एनालाइज है, हमें ये देखना है कि हम कैसे ड्रॉप आउट रेट्स को रिड्यूस कर पा रहे हैं. अगर ड्रॉप आउट रेट्स आपके मेन स्ट्रीम एजुकेशन में से रिड्यूस हो रही है, तो आप ऑटोमेटिकली देखेंगे कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इंक्रीज हो रही है और कहीं ना कहीं ये फॉस्टर कर रहा है मोर इंक्लूसिव सोसाइटी को. देन कम्युनिटी इम्पैक्ट. Inclusive education basically fosters a sense of community and belongingness and help to build social cohesion. And this is very important in a diverse society like India. हम इंडिया के लिए क्या कहते हैं? There is unity in diversity and it is very clear कि diversity को हम eliminate नहीं कर सकते सोसाइटी में से, राइट? तो सोशल कोहेजिशन होना बहुत ज़रूरी है और जो बच्चा है वो हर फेज ऑफ लाइफ में चैलेंजेस फेस करेगा, एडजस्टमेंट आना चाहिए उसे. तो हम क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं? एक तरीके से हम स्टूडेंट को प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं फॉर अडल्ट लाइफ इन एन इंक्लूसिव सोसाइटी in which people from different backgrounds with different abilities live and work together. Right? So that was the first part of our first session. Now the second part is in respect to mentor-mentee system. So this particular slide says that what all things we are going to cover in today's session, because today we'll focus specifically on supporting individual students, and this is a critical component of NAP that aims to personalize the education. And even this approach recognizes that each student is unique and requires specific support to thrive academically and personally. So first we'll talk about mentoring. Is there anyone who would like to answer that how you can define the mentoring, that what is mentoring? कोई है जो अपना point of view share करेगा that what is mentoring? Is there anyone? Try to make session interactive. आप सब academicians हैं, आप में से काफी mentor भी होंगे. Yes? No. Fine. Let me tell you. See, mentoring is more than just academic guidance. It is about inspiring and supporting students to excel beyond the classroom walls. हमें प्रोफेशनल और पर्सनल दोनों फॉर्म में academically and personally बच्चे को सपोर्ट करना. That is mentoring. See, providing an academic guidance is our primary duty. Right? Then we'll even explore how structured mentor-mentee system can be developed and implemented effectively within our schools. Right? Then we'll talk about repo. We'll try to understand the dynamics of building strong, supportive relationship between mentor and mentee. Because this mentor-mentee system is based on the fiduciary relationship. Now, what is the fiduciary relationship? Relationship which is based on trust. Right? Then we'll talk about remedial teaching. We'll discuss the different approaches and benefits of remedial teaching, ensuring that all students can achieve their potential regardless of their starting point. Right? Then positive attitudinal development. We'll even learn about the fostering a positive attitude, and we'll understand why this positive attitude is important. Right? Because positive attitude plays very crucial role for both mentor and mentee. Because whenever you are establishing something new, both mentor and mentee is going to face certain challenges, and how they can achieve the success with the help of positive attitude. All these things we'll cover in second part of today's session. Then now in respect to role of mentoring in education. See, mentoring in education refers to a supportive learning relationship between mentor and mentee. अब mentor और mentee को कैसे define करा जाए? Whether only teachers can be a mentor or anyone else can also be a mentor. Yes, सिर्फ टीचर्स मेंटर हो सकते हैं या मेंटर कोई भी हो सकता है. See, more experienced, more knowledgeable person is a mentor, and less experienced, less knowledgeable person is a mentee. ठीक है, कोई भी, फाइन, वेरी ट्रू, कोई भी हो सकता है. So, the mentor basically provides guidance, share resources, and offer emotional and social support to facilitate the personal and professional growth of the mentee, right? And that is mentoring. आप देखेंगे there are different forms of mentoring: peer mentor, faculty to student mentoring, professional expert mentoring students. But each form of mentoring targets different needs and stages in a student's educational journey. Okay? That's why mentoring is a versatile educational tool which plays a crucial role in nurturing students, both academic and personal growth. It involves guidance, support, and encouragement provided by the more knowledgeable person to the less experienced learner. Right? So, when we talk about peer mentoring, what it is? See, in peer mentoring, it involves students who are mentoring each other. Now, the mentor can be a slightly older or more experienced student within the same institution. And this peer mentoring can be organized within the same academic program or across different years. Right? Then where this form of mentoring will be helpful, right? Pehla, academic support. Peer mentor often helps with study skills, time management, and very importantly in understanding the course material. And if some new student has joined the school, then in that case also peer mentoring will work. How in adapting to the school environment, because this is very crucial time for that new student for their social and emotional adjustment. Even peers can serve as a role model. Seeing peer success can highly be motivating for mentees, right? So, discuss n number of examples with the students where the peer mentoring has been successful, that what they can also achieve. Then faculty to student mentoring, यहाँ पे faculty members mentor कर रहे हैं students को directly, but faculty to student mentoring can be in both way, formal or informal way. How informal way? With the help of structured programs, right? And how in informal way, where we are trying to develop the regular interaction in academic settings. So वो एक informal way होगा, right? So faculty to student mentoring basically helps in career guidance. Faculty mentors provide advice on academic pathways, career options, and further studies, basically. Even you will see in case of research opportunities, right? So particularly in higher education, faculty mentors guide students through their research projects, thesis work, publication, dissertations, right? So that is also the one of the way of mentoring. Then, in case of personal development, faculty mentors can offer support on personal development, helping students navigate their challenges which are adversely affecting their academic life. Right? Then, professional expert mentoring students. In that case, professional experts from various industries mentor students, often through formal program. This is completely a formal program. Why? Because professional expert mentoring are arranged by the educational institutions. Here, the mentors are not pure school staff, but they are professionals in the field related to the student's area of study, right? So, professional expert mentoring always go in a formal way. First, It will offer students a real world perspective on working in specific sector, which is invaluable for career planning, right? Then even it focuses on practical skills and knowledge that are directly applicable in professional settings. Because in present time we have to align with the need of 21st century. If you don't have those skills which are needed by the employers, then you are not going to get employed. There is a huge gap between the skills needed by the employer and the skill possessed by the job seeker, and that's why unemployment rate is huge. Then even with the help of professional expert mentoring, you will able to connect with students, right? Sorry, that students will able to connect with the professionals, and somehow that will lead to what? It will lead to internship opportunities, job opportunities, career mentoring. So your networking will grow. So after seeing these things, we can say that all form of mentoring is very, this point is very important, because when you're establishing something new, you cannot ignore the institutional's objective. So all form of mentoring should align with the educational institution's broader objective. Now what is the education institution broader objective? It can be student retention, enhancing the employability, and fostering a sense of community among students, right? So effective mentoring programs are adaptable, reflecting the changing need of students, right, as they progress through their educational pathway. Right? So each form of mentoring basically serves distinct purpose and address different stages of a student's educational and personal development. So, by leveraging peer mentors, faculty, professional experts, educational institution can provide a holistic support, or you can say holistic development, which will nurture the students' life, students academically, professionally, and personally. And then only you can say that there is a holistic development, right? So there's a small question from you all, that whether providing an employment should be the primary objective of an education institution or not. क्या एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रोवाइड करना कोई भी एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन का प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव है या नहीं? Guide students to improve their ability. Very well answered. No one else? No, ma'am. Okay, so what it should be? You are not allowed to unmute yourself, or what is the issue? Whether you are allowed to unmute yourself? क्या आप लोग अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं, या ऑर्गेनाइजर ने आप सबको म्यूट करा हुआ है?
मैम उनको ऑडिट किया है सब।
अच्छा, सबको म्यूट करा हुआ है?
हाँ मैम, क्या होता है तो डिस्टर्ब है मैडम,
ओके ओके ओके, फाइन फाइन फाइन।
बाद में आप जब बोलेंगे ना उनको अनम्यूट करना, तो मुझे अनम्यूट करता हूँ।
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है, इट्स ओके। सो ओके, नॉट जस्ट एम्प्लॉयमेंट। See, it is very true. The primary objective of any education institution is not to provide an employment, right? If you will focus on making the students employable, so automatically they will get an employment. So, what should be the primary focus of an education institution is to make students employable, make them skilled workforce. So, automatically they will get an employment. तब उन्हें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी, राइट? So now what is the importance of mentoring in promoting inclusivity and diversity? See, fostering a sense of belongingness is very important. Mentoring helps students from diverse backgrounds feel valued and understood within the educational community, and when they will have a sense of belongingness, you will automatically see that there will be an active participation and integration among these students, because they will not feel isolated. they will not feel discriminated. Right? Then addressing unique challenges. Mentors should customize their support to address the specific cultural, educational, or socio-economic challenges faced by the mentee. So, this personalized support is basically a key in leveling the playing field and helping all the students to achieve their potential to the fullest. Then, even the mentors serve as a role model and provide a roadmap for navigating the academic environment, which can be particularly empowering for students from underrepresented or disadvantaged groups. Because generally discriminations are done on the basis of diversity. So that should be eliminated. So whether NAP has given certain recommendation in respect to the mentorship program or not? Yes, NAP has talked about the mentorship program. First, NAP says that we should have an institutional framework. Means we have to emphasize on the establishment of the structured framework program within education institution to systematically support each and every student without any kind of discrimination. And this even includes integrating mentoring into the curriculum and providing training for mentors. Okay. Then quality and accessibility. So the policy calls for high quality mentorship that is accessible to all students, and that is also regardless of their background. And even they says that special attention is given to ensure that marginalized and differently able students receive adequate mentoring support. Because if you are ignoring marginalized or differently able students, somehow you are discriminating on the basis of diversity. Then it is not like that once you provided the guidance and it will serve the purpose. No, this is the continuous evaluation. Adaptation means there should be a consistency. Okay? So NAP recommends that regular assessment of mentorship program is very important. Why? To ensure that they are, if that particular relationship is effective and it meets the evolving need of students. And how you are going to evaluate? There is a simple mechanism or simple tool to evaluate, that is the feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism should be implemented to adapt and refine mentoring practices. Okay? Then building professional capacities. NAP encourages continuous professional development for mentors also. It not only talks about the mentee, right? Because to become a mentor, you need certain specific skills. To enhance your mentoring skills, to understand the mentee's need, diverse background, and even to stay updated with the latest educational practices and technologies, you have to provide training, workshops, to training to the mentors also. Right? So, after looking into all these aspects, we have seen that mentoring is a crucial tool for enhancing students' diversity and fostering inclusive education, right? And thereby it helping institutions to cultivate an educational environment that supports the growth and success of each and every student. Now, how to establish a mentor-mentee system? First, I have divided into two things. First, we'll talk about certain key components, and then we'll move to the steps need to be taken for the establishment or the implementation of the mentor-mentee system. So, first of all, what all key components are there? Structured framework. How you are going to define the structured framework or well-defined structure? Right? So a well-defined structure is that which outlines the roles and responsibilities of both mentor and mentee, right? And even it includes clear objectives, expected outcomes, and the duration of the mentorship program, right? Then you can say that there is a structured framework. Next component is matching process. Effective matching of mentor and mentee is very important. If matching is not done in a proper way, if you have done the matching randomly, you will not able to achieve any objective behind that particular mentor-mentee relationship. So for that, effective matching for mentor-mentee is very important. And how you can do the effective matching, right? You have to analyze the shared interest, career goals, or educational need to enhance compatibility and the potential for successful outcome. After evaluating all these things, the proper matching can be done, right? Then training for mentors. Provide comprehensive training for mentors to equip them with the necessary skills and knowledge to support mentees effectively, right? Because randomly any person cannot become a mentor. You need few specific skills. Now what can be those skills? Your communication skills, sensitivity training, method to identify and address the specific need of mentee. These are the certain skills. Even the empathy is needed, right? So for that there is a need to provide training to the mentors. Then continuous support and monitoring, right? So as I told you, consistency is needed, regular check-ins are needed, right? And regular check-ins and support from the institution to ensure the mentor mentee relationship is productive, because without continuous evaluation or support you will not able to analyze that whether that particular relationship is productive or not, right? So for that, continuous support monitoring is needed, and that can also be done with the help of feedback mechanism, feedback sessions, right? Periodic assessments. What steps should be taken to implement a mentor-mentee system in educational institution, right? So for that, first is define objective and scope. Establish clear goals for the mentorship program, but always keep in mind that whenever you are establishing the goals for the mentorship program, that should align with the educational objectives of the institution, right? Determine the scope, including which student group will be targeted, what outcomes are expected, right? Without that, there will be a chaos. Right? Next is develop a mentor pool. Identify the potential mentors among faculty, alumni, senior students, professional experts, right? Make a big list, big pool of mentors, because when you are having a diverse mentor pool, then only you will able to cater to the different needs of mentees. Otherwise, you will face the problem. Then train mentors, right? Conduct training session to prepare mentor for their roles. But you have to focus on building effective communication, empathy, and other mentoring skills which we have discussed. Right? Then match mentor and mentee. But while matching the mentor or mentee, you have to use this systematic approach to match mentor mentee, and that is based on what? Shared interest, career goals, right? Other skills. If effective or efficient matching has been done, then only you can ensure the compatibility and it will maximize the impact of mentoring. Okay? Then launch the program, officially start the program, right? or whenever you are officially starting the program, always keep in mind that at first instance or in an introductory session, you are not going to judge the mentee. At even mentors should not judge the mentee at any stage. But in the introductory session, allow mentor and mentee to meet and set the initial expectations. Right? Then monitor and evaluate. Regularly monitor the progress of the mentor-mentee relationship, right? And evaluate the impact of the program. And if any particular stage you think that there is a need to adjust the program on the basis of the feedback received or the outcome, do it with an immediate effect. Then, challenges. See, challenges can be in two parts: general challenges and specific challenges. Now, specific challenges is as per the circumstances or the situation, right? So, we'll not talk about the specific challenges. Here, we are talking about the general challenges which we can face while establishing or while setting up a mentor mentee system. First is ensuring commitment. If mentor and mentee may have different level of commitment, whether you will able to reach to any conclusion or not, no, you will not able to reach to any particular conclusion, because the objective in the mind of mentor and mentee are different. The objectives are not aligned. That is not mutual work. So what kind of solution do we have in respect to it? It is like set clear expectations, right? And formal agreements to ensure sustained engagement. Then next is matching challenges. Difficulty in matching mentors and mentees effectively. Then it will also lead to what? It will lead to an unproductive relationship, right? So whether there is any solution for it or not, yes, we have. But what it is? Use a comprehensive matching process that should consider the multiple factors, such as interest, career goals, personalities, right? And if any particular period of time you think that there is a need for the rematching, then allow for rematching if the initial pairing is not successful. Right? Then resource constraints, right? So when we talk about resource constraints, very clear, major problem in India, right? If there are limited resources, then that will adversely affect the quality and the reach of mentorship program, right? So for that, NAP has given us the solution: leverage the technology. In our second slide, we have talked about it. So leverage technology to facilitate virtual mentorship session. Seek partnerships with industry professionals, right, and alumni to expand the mentor pool without significant financial investment. Because when you opting for the technology, right, you are making partnership with the industry experts, alumni, and everyone. No financial significant financial investment is needed. Then resource constraint will not affect. Then challenge for measuring impact. Difficulty in assessing the effectiveness of the mentorship program, right? Then what we can do for that? We can develop clear metrics and regular evaluation intervals, right, to measure progress and impact. Okay? So you, for that, you should use feedback, but always keep in mind, whenever I am talking about the feedback mechanism, we have to take feedback from both mentor and mentee, but not in a combined way, in an individual manner. And why we need that feedback from both mentor and mentee? To continually refine the program, right? So by addressing these components and challenges, educational institution can effectively implement a mentor-mentee system that supports the individual development of students, because you have to support individual students. Right? Even it will foster an environment of growth and learning, but that should align with the goal of NAP. Yeah. Building mentor-mentee rapport. Right? Just give me a second to have a water, then we'll continue. Fine. Let's So, repo. Before starting with that, how or what all techniques we can opt to build a strong repo, we should understand the meaning of repo between the mentor and mentee, and even we'll talk about the importance or the significance of having a strong repo, right? So here, repo between mentor and mentee basically refers to what? It refers to a positive, trusting relationship that facilitates open communication and enhances mutual understanding. Because earlier I told you that this mentor mentee relationship is based on the fiduciary relationship which is based on trust. Because if there is no positivity, there is no trust, then definitely mentee is not going to open up with his or her problem with the mentor. There will be no mutual understanding, right? So establishing strong rapport is very crucial for the effectiveness of any mentoring relationship. It helps in providing personalized support, and it will foster a safe environment where mentees feel encouraged and express their concerns and aspiration to the mentor. Then only they will able to come to a common objective, right? And having a common objective is also one of the essential element for the productive mentor-mentee system. Then active listening. When we talk about active listening, it means mentor should practice active listening. He should be an active listener. This is one of the techniques or strategies we can opt to build the strong rapport. When I'm talking about active listening, means showing genuine interest in the mentee's thought. It is not only about just hearing the words, but also understanding the emotions and the intention behind the mentee's thought. Right? Then empathy. Demonstrating empathy involves understanding and sharing the feeling of another person, which help in building a deeper connection and trust. Right? That is empathy. Consistency, regular check-ins, right? Regular predictable meetings help in establishing reliability and structure. And that way, that consistency is going to help you in building a good relation or a strong relation with the mentee. Then personalized interaction. If you think that the same approach can fit to all the problems, sorry, no. So here the mentor has to customize the mentoring approach to fit the unique needs and personality of the mentee, right? And this might involve adjusting communication style, feedback methods, pace of mentoring session. In all these things, you might need customization as per the case. Then setting mutual goals. See, this is a collaborative process, right? Collaborative process will empower the mentees and align both parties on common objective. Means the mentor and mentee has to work together to set the achievable goals. Then positive reinforcement. Encourage and celebrate the small success of the mentee, and what it will do, it will boost the confidence, it will build the confidence of the mentee, it will motivate the mentee. So positive reinforcement not only works for the mentee, it also works for the mentor, right? So now whether there is any impact of good repo on students outcome or not. Yes, there is a impact of good rep on students' outcome. You will see that there is an academic improvement, right? So students with mentor who they feel close to are more likely to perform well academically. Why? Due to personalized guidance and increased motivation. Because of the positive reinforcement, you will see improvement in the academics. Even wherever there's a strong rapport, that can lead to a greater emotional stability. And when there is a greater emotional stability, you will see that the anxiety is reduced, and the student has a better ability to cope with academics and social pressures. Right? And long-term relationship. Often these relationships can last beyond the educational settings, but where? When that the mentee feels comfortable with the mentor, then in that situation only this relationship can last beyond the educational setting. Long-term relationships will be provided. Relationships will be there, right? So by focusing on these key areas, we have gone through, we had a complete overview basically of how building strong mentor-mentee rapport can substantially enhance the mentoring experience, and it will lead to better educational and professional outcomes for students. Okay? Now, remedial teaching strategies. Before moving to the remedial teaching strategies, we'll try to understand that what is remedial teaching, right? What do we understand by this word remedial teaching? See, there are two things, right? I'm just explaining it in a very simple language. So, first of all, what student knows, okay? What student know and what they are expected to know. There is a huge gap between these two, what students know and what they are expected to know. And remedial teaching is basically an instructional program which is trying to close the gap between what students know and what they are expected to know. Right? It focuses on providing additional support to help students who are struggling to meet the standard academic levels in various subjects, right? And why this remedial teaching is important. This approach is particularly important in a diverse classrooms where students may have disparity in educational background, learning disabilities, or other challenges which are adversely affecting their learning progress. Right? So remedial teaching basically ensures that all students have access to the resources and support they need to succeed academically. Right? And with the help of that, we'll able to promote equity within the educational system. Now, what all strategies we have? Diagnostic teaching. With if you go to doctor, whether doctor writes you prescription immediately, no. First doctor will diagnose the problem, Same thing we have to do being a teacher. Begin with the identifying specific learning gap and difficulties. Teacher use assessments to determine individual student needs and then customize the instructional approaches accordingly. As I told you, that same approach does not fit for all the purpose, all the situations. So for that, first we have to do the diagnosis that what is the problem, and then according to that problem, we have to customize our mentoring approach. Then differentiated instructions. Teachers should create different paths to learning so that each student can learn in the manner which suits them best, because the caliber of each and every student is different. Some may be good in the audiovisual form, some may be good in understanding while oral explanations, some may be good with if you are explaining the things with the real life examples, real life scenarios. So for that, being a teacher, what you have to do, you have to opt for different ways of assignment, right? Use different teaching strategies. Use of technology. Incorporating educational technologies such as interactive software, online resources that reinforce learning content and engage students in a new way. So technology can also offer personalized learning experiences essential for the remedial education. You can take the help of technology. Then peer tutoring, involving involve pairing or grouping students together for tutoring sessions, right? And this method basically leverage peer interactions to assist underperforming students simultaneously. Basically it serves two purposes. First, it will assist the underperforming students, and second, it will reinforce the tutor's mastery on the subject. Small group sessions, always keep in mind that here in today's session, whenever I am talking about the any group activity or the group session, here group should be formed by whom? By the teacher, not by the students. I will come to this particular point in my last slide, that why I am saying that group should be formed by the teachers, not by students. So conduct sessions with small group of students, allow for more direct interactions and personalized feedback from the teachers. Right? And this can be less intimidating and more supportive for students who need extra help. Because remedial teaching is working for only additional help. That it is trying to bridge the gap between what students know and what they are expected to know. I will just take a simple example so that remedial teaching is clear to you. This is a completely and hypothetical situation, that if there is some public school, right? And first of all, we have to diagnose the problem. We have diagnosed the problem that the high percentage of students are performing below grade level in economics, for an example, right? This is the problem. So now for that, what we have to do, what remedial teaching we have to opt for? We have to introduce a comprehensive after school remedial program which feature diagnostic assessments and technology assisted learning modules. And if that has been done by you for a particular period of time, right, you will see a significant improvement in the economic score within one academic year. And even you are going to analyze, or you are going to see that there is an increased confidence in the students, they are actively participating, higher engagement levels are there, right? So, the transformative potential of remedial teaching in addressing the educational disparities and fostering an inclusive learning environment where every student has the opportunity to succeed. Right? So, remedial teaching is very important. Fostering positive attitudinal development. So, first of all, why positive attitude is important in the education success? We all know about positive attitude, so there is no need to explain the positive attitude. But what is the importance of this positive attitude in educational success? See, foundation for learning. A positive attitude is very crucial in education because it enhances motivation, engagement, and persistence, right? Which are essential for the academic success. So, students with a positive outlook, they are more likely to embrace challenges, persist in the face of difficulties. And if they are having a positive attitude in the face of their difficulties, they are going to see their failure as an opportunities to learn. Okay? Even positive attitude contributes to better stress management. It will lower the rate of depression, right? And overall better mental health will be there. And when there is an overall better mental health, then it will significantly affect in positive manner a student's ability to perform academically, right? Then, sorry. Next is in respect to, we are talking about the positive attitude, long-term impact will be there, right? So developing a positive attitude during school years set the groundwork for lifelong. Just give me a second. So, how there will be a long-term impact. Developing a positive attitude during school years basically sets the groundwork for lifelong success, right? Even influencing career trajectories, personal relationship, and the ability to adapt to changes. Okay? Being a mentor, what all strategies we can opt to cultivate positivity and resilience in students? First of all, modeling positive behavior. And how you can do that? See, mentor also serve as a role model, we all know. So if you are discussing several positive outlooks which demonstrate the positive attitude in a good manner, where the positive results are there, try to demonstrate a positive outlook, resilience in overcoming personal challenges, and a persistence effort towards goal, then it is going to bring a good impact. Then encouragement and recognition. Regular check, recognizing regularly, you are recognizing students' work, efforts, achievement. Always keep in mind that encouragement should focus on efforts and growth rather than just outcome. No matter how small that effort or achievement is, try to recognize or encourage the student, and that will reinforce positive behavior and it will boost a self-esteem, right? Then bu- try to build a growth mindset among students. Teach students to have a growth mindset by emphasizing that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort, learning, persistence, right? And even teach them to do the negative self-talk and reframe setback as a learning opportunities. Attend resilience training workshops. So now what are the resilience skills basically, right? It includes stress management, goal settings, handling failures, right? And such skills help students manage their academic and personal challenges very effectively and efficiently. Now, interactive discussions, right? We'll talk about interactive discussions on real life scenario where positive attitudes impacted students' achievement. If you are doing these things, it will bring a great impact on the students because they generally get more attached or linked to when you are explaining it with the help of real life scenarios, right? They are having real cases in front of you. So you can use the case study presentation for it. How? Briefly present few cases, case studies where a positive attitude significantly impacted students' academic and personal achievement. And these could include stories of students overcoming substantial personal or academic challenge. Then group discussion. Break the audience into small groups to discuss similar experiences they have observed or facilitated, focusing on the role of positive attitude and how that attitude is developed. Right? Sharing the session in which they will share their opinion. Right? If you will opt these things, you will see a great change in these students. So now the very important question is that student is there for a particular period of time with the teachers, right? That is 9 to 3 or 9 to 5. And our primary duty is that we have to teach the student, we have to complete our course. So from where we'll get an extra time to do all these things? So for that, we have to integrate the mentoring into our daily activities. Like how we'll able to integrate the mentoring into in our daily activities? First, we have to schedule the mentor hours. Design specific time during the school week or a college week as a mentor hour where students can meet their mentors, right? And this period can be a less intensive period, such as last period of the day, after lunch, right? To discuss academic progress, personal challenges, and future goals with the mentor. Then, embed mentoring in classroom activities. Call for role model invitations. Regularly invite role models from various professions to speak in classrooms and try to link that session with the career guidance and real world application of learning. Right? Peer mentoring, implement a peer mentoring system where older student mentor younger one, promote leadership skills and supportive school culture, right? So it is going to help you. So for that, you don't need any extra time. These activities can be done in our daily routine. Mentorship across the curriculum means we have to focus on interdisciplinary projects, project based learning, because if you are using projects that require mentorship roles, then the mentor will help or guide the student in research ideation execution phase. The mentor will make student understand that how two links can be linked, right? Two concepts can be linked across different subjects. So when with the help of interdisciplinary projects, students will try to learn the integrative thinking, critical thinking, right? Because that is the need of an hour, that student should learn to link the concept across different subjects. Then only they will able to do the brainstorming. Otherwise, what they will do? They will just do the rote memorization and they will write in the exams, right? Then regular progress reviews, structured feedback. Mentors provide structured feedback on both academic and extracurricular activities. Mentors should provide that because that is going to help students reflect on their learning and personal growth, right? And then group activities, right? Now we'll discuss that why I told you that group should be formed by the teacher, not by students. If you are leaving it on a student to form the group, what they are going to do? They are going to choose their own friends with whom they are comfortable, right? Then in that particular group, there is no learning. right? The purpose is not fulfilled. If group is formed by the teacher, we have to keep in mind that group should include below average student, outstanding performer, right? In such a way, we'll form the group. Give some hypothetical situation to the group, and then later on ask the student to perform it to the complete audience, right? So allow each group a few minutes to present their plan to the entire audience, and then ask the constructive feedback, right? So constructive feedback from whom? From the audience and the other participants. But that constructive feedback should be based on feasibility, creativity, and comprehensiveness. And once that constructive feedback is received, then ask that particular team or a group that how the plan could be adjusted or improved based on the feedback received. Because when you are asking that particular group this question, they will have a sense of belongingness, they will not feel isolated, right? So with the help of these things, we can incorporate mentoring in our day to day activities, right? Thank you. But there is a simple call for action from you all, that merely having policies, rules, regulation will not serve the purpose until and unless we are implementing it. Policy has been drafted, but who is going to implement it? We. Now, ball is in the court of academicians who are going to implement this particular policy. So, there is an humble request from you all. Kindly go back to your own education institution and implement these provisions in your teachings, and that will bring a great change. And that's why this orientation and sensitization program initiative have been taken by PUGC. We have to work on the implementation. Merely having any policy will not serve the purpose. Thank you. Open for Q&A.
अनम्यूट करना है,
Yes.
पार्टिसिपेंट को अनम्यूट करना है कि नहीं?
Yes, yes, आप कर सकते हैं। अब उनको अगर कुछ पूछना हो, क्योंकि पहला सेशन हो गया है, दे में आस्क।
Yes, any question participant? अब आपका माइक अनम्यूट कर सकते, आप बात कर सकते हैं, मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं।
किसी को कोई डाउट हो या कोई जेन्युइन अपनी कोई प्रॉब्लम भी आप फेस कर रहे हो अपने क्लास में, तो आप वो भी शेयर कर सकते हैं, शायद कोई सोल्यूशन निकल आए डिस्कशन से। किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है? आप लोगों ने सुना है सेशन?
मैडम नमस्ते।
नमस्ते।
myself Dr. Ravi Lamani from Karnataka मैडम।
यस सर, बताइए।
जो ये मेंटर मेंटिंग के बारे में थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन था मुझे।
यस सर, बताइए।
ये यूजी कोर्स के लिए थोड़ा who is the mentee? Mentor is also teacher, but who is the mentee?
सर मैंने
first entry level students are mentee, or second year or final year students?
सर हाँ
please
सर, मेंटी सारे बच्चे हैं आपके लिए। एवरी स्टूडेंट इज मेंटी। सी, मैंने है ना बहुत लेमैन वर्ड यूज करा था। क्यों करा था मैं आपको बताती हूँ। मैंने वर्ड यूज करा था, मोर एक्सपीरियंस मोर नॉलेजेबल पर्सन इज अ मेंटर, राइट? एंड लेस एक्सपीरियंस एंड लेस नॉलेजेबल पर्सन इज अ मेंटी। नाउ व्हाट वाज द रीजन बिहाइंड यूजिंग दैट वर्ड? कि देखो, देयर आर डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ मेंटी। ऐसा तो है नहीं कि सिर्फ टीचर ही मेंटर होगा। मेंटरशिप के हमने इतने सारे फॉर्म्स करे। प्रोफेशनल एक्सपर्ट भी मेंटर हो सकता है, एल्यूमनाई भी मेंटर हो सकता है, आपका कोई सीनियर स्टूडेंट जूनियर के लिए मेंटर हो सकता है, राइट? जब हमने पीयर मेंटरिंग की बात करी, तो इसलिए मैंने इसको बहुत वाइडर रखा था कि जो भी थोड़ा ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस, ज्यादा नॉलेजेबल पर्सन है, वो मेंटर है। आप मेरे से बात कर रहे हैं रिस्पेक्ट टू यूजी स्टूडेंट, कि आप कह रहे हैं टीचर मेंटर है। फाइन, टीचर मेंटर होता है, मैं इससे डिनाई नहीं कर रही। बट आपका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है कि मैम फर्स्ट ईयर वाले स्टूडेंट मेंटी हैं कि सेकंड ईयर वाले हैं कि थर्ड ईयर वाले हैं, यही है?
yes.
सर सारे बच्चे आपके लिए मेंटी हैं, क्योंकि आप मोर एक्सपीरियंस मोर नॉलेजेबल पर्सन हैं, राइट? आप उनको गाइडेंस प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, अकेडमिकली, प्रोफेशनली, पर्सनली, राइट। तो प्रॉब्लम तो किसी भी बच्चे को आ सकती है, वो लेस एक्सपीरियंस लर्नर के एम्बिट में आ रहा है, तो आपके लिए फर्स्ट ईयर का बच्चा भी मेंटी हो सकता है, वो आपके पास प्रॉब्लम लेके आ रहा है, सेकंड ईयर का भी हो सकता है, थर्ड ईयर का भी हो सकता है।
थैंक यू मैडम, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Anyone else? No doubts? So can we take a break of 7-8 minutes, then we'll start with new session?
Ma'am, 10-minute break लीजिए, 10 break.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I have made you a co-host now.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Am I audible? It is also my voice is clear?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay. Thank you. Now, so we'll be starting with our today's session. That is also on the student diversity and inclusive education. But in that, we are going to talk about the achievement gap, right? Inclusive education, that how that inclusive education plays a vital role in bridging the achievements gap, and what all recommendations have been given by NAP in respect to bridge the achievement gap. That will be the second session. So first of all, NAP's vision for diversity and inclusion, right? So whenever we talk about the diversity inclusion, we have already gone in detail in respect to it. So in today's session, we'll try to understand the role of teachers in minimizing achievement gap through the inclusive education practices, right? So that what all role teachers play and what all actions being an academicians we can take in respect to bridge the achievement gap, because we are having a diversity in the class and eliminating the diversity is not possible practically. We cannot eliminate the diversity from the class and even from the society that is there in India, country like India. So basically, NAP 2020 is a landmark shift in educational paradigm, aiming at a holistic overhaul of the existing system to make it more inclusive and responsive to the needs of a 21st century. Because you will see, even on the basis of demography, also there is a huge diversity. So, if we talk about the NAP, the central to NAP ethos is the emphasis on embracing the diversity and ensuring inclusivity, because we have to support each and every individual irrespective of any kind of diversity. We have to make them success. We have to bring them to the parity. So here, the teacher play the role of catalyst. Teacher play a crucial role as the primary implementers of NAP vision, as facilitators of learning and guide them within the classroom. And teachers are pivotal in bringing about the significant changes envisioned by NAP, and that is not a single role what teacher play. Here, teacher play a multifaceted role. Now, what all those multifaceted role includes? So, first of all, we'll talk about the implementing inclusivity and practices. So, teachers are on the front liner, right? Because NAP completely talks about what? It talks about the holistic development. Right? So, it tasked with adapting teaching methods to accommodate diverse learning styles, because we have already talked about it that there is a diversity on the basis of learning abilities also. And what we have to do, we have to consider that diversity as an asset, not as a barrier to the success. If you are not going to do that, you will not able to get success, because diversity will be there in each and every phase of your life, right? So, first of all, we'll see that when we know that teachers are the frontliner, this includes employing differentiated instruction strategies that ensure all students, regardless of their learning abilities or socioeconomic background. And even we have to focus on what? We have to focus on the quality education, right to an education which is there under Article 21A of the Constitution. Then even what we have to do, we have to foster a multicultural classroom environment. So the responsibility of fostering an environment that celebrates culture, linguistic and individual diversity, we have already talked about the several elements of the diversity, right? So that falls heavily on teacher, that how teacher can foster an environment where we are going to celebrate each and every form of diversity. We have talked about the benefits of having a diversity in the class, right? So this involves creating an inclusive classroom atmosphere that respects and highlights diverse background and perspectives, helping students understand and appreciate differences. Then even we are role models, role as change agent. So teachers are somehow they are advocating for inclusive policies and practices within their school. How? By supporting the implementation of the NAP's objectives, teachers help in shaping the education landscape to be more equitable. But when you will, once you complete this NAP orientation and sensitization program, you will able to relate this particular point, role as change agent, right? Then professional development. So NAP not only focuses on the student, it simultaneously focuses on the teachers also, because students and teachers are like two different sides of the same coin. So NAP emphasizes the continuous professional development of teachers to equip them with the necessary skills to implement its inclusive and diverse education model effectively. For that, we have seen it in our last session, we have talked about it, training for the mentors. There are certain skills which are necessary to become a mentor, right? So for becoming a mentor, what all skills are required, we have gone through it, right? Is there anyone who would like to repeat the things, or like to repeat the skills what are required to become the mentor? We have discussed it in last session. What were those skills? Yes. Okay. So basically, this includes training in new pedagogical techniques, sensitivity training to deal with diverse classrooms, and leadership development to spread initiatives within their school, or you can say college. Okay? So NAP vision is like for teachers are not just an educators, but also crucial advocates and implementers of a more inclusive and diverse educational system. Their role is integral in ensuring that principles of equity, diversity, and inclusions are not only taught, but they are embodied within the educational experiences of all students, paving the way for more inclusive society. What is our purpose? We have to make the more inclusive society. Again and again I am saying that we have to face the diversity at each and every phase of your life, right? So there is an immense responsibility and opportunity that lies in the hands of teachers to mold and adapt their teaching practices in line with the NAP's inclusive directives, ensuring every student benefit from these reforms, because these reforms are for both teacher and student. Diversity in students, when we talk about physical differences, right? So, physical differences we'll try to understand from 2 points: variability and classroom adaptation. Right? So, what is variability? Students define their physical abilities, health conditions, which can include mobility, vision, hearing, and other physical challenges. Right? So, we have to keep in mind these differences. Then, classroom adaptation emphasize the importance of adapting physical classroom environment to accommodate these differences, ensuring accessibility for all the students. Right? Then cognitive differences. Cognitive differences, I have divided it into three parts to deal with it: learning styles, cognitive abilities, instructional strategies. Right? So when we talk about learning styles, students have varied learning style. Some may excel in visual learning, while others prefer auditory or kinesthetic learning. Right? And when we talk about cognitive abilities, means attention span. There are differences in processing the information, how much attention span they need, whether they are having the problem solving skills or not. Right? These are some cognitive abilities. And even there is a difference on the basis of the cognitive abilities also. Instructional strategies. Discuss the customized instructional strategies. You should opt for customized instructional strategies which help in catering to diverse cognitive needs, promoting effective learning outcome. Because again and again, I am saying that same solution does not fit for all the problems. We have to do the customization into it as per the need and circumstances of the situation. Then social differences. When we talk about social differences, again it is in three parts: cultural background, social skills, culturally responsive teaching. Right? When there will be a culturally responsive teaching, then only we'll able to have an inclusivity, or you can say that you are applying the principle of inclusivity. Right? So students come from different or a diverse cultural background, influencing their behavior and interactions. Right? When we talk about social skills, varying levels of social skills can affect group dynamics and classroom participation. Right? And even it highlights the need for culturally responsive teaching that respects and integrate the rich classroom asset students bring to the classroom. Right? Because being a teacher, it is our duty that it should be a culturally responsive teaching. We should not be biased with any particular culture. Right? Then emotional differences, emotional regulation, supportive system. Right? So in that case, we have to understand the range of students emotional responses and the impact on learning. Right? And the importance of providing emotional support through counseling, peer support groups, teacher student relationship, to foster a safe and supportive learning environment. That is also very important. Support, without support system you will not able to excel. Right? So what are the implication for teaching? Right? If I talk about, see, adapting teaching methods, we have to acknowledge these differences required for adapting teaching methods that are flexible and inclusive, allow teachers to cater to the varied learning needs of each student. Then enhance engagement and participation is important. Active participation is important. Without active participation integration, the principle of inclusivity cannot be followed. So in that case, we have to opt for what? Differentiated instructions. No, and those differentiated instruction not only addresses diverse learning needs but also help in engage students by aligning teaching methods with their individual preferences and strengths. Right? Then achievement and inclusion. We have to focus on how to recognize and address individual differences, and those individual differences can significantly reduce achievement gap. Right? Then we have to being a teacher, our role is to the emphasizes the crucial role of teachers in identifying and nurturing the unique talent of each student, which involve continuous learning and adaptation to new education methods, technologies that support diverse learning environment. Right? So by understanding the spectrum of student diversity, and this student diversity spectrum is foundational to develop teaching strategies that are equitable, inclusive, and effective. Right? And basically, what should be our ultimate goal being a teacher? Our ultimate goal is to create a classroom environment where all students feel valued, have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Right? Then analyzing achievement gaps. How we'll able to analyze the achievement gaps? Or basically, what is the achievement gap? How we are going to define the achievement gap? I would request the host to kindly unmute the participants so that they can answer. If someone would like to answer that, how they are going to define the achievement gap. Is there anyone who would like to answer that? How you are going to define the achievement gap? Otherwise, you can write in the chat box also. Fine. See, achievement gaps refer to the disparities in academic performance between groups of students, and often that is observed through the grades, standardized test score, course selection, dropout rates, and college completion rates, right? And these gaps are typically between the students of different gender, racial, and ethnic backgrounds. Even you can see this on socioeconomic status and other demographics distinctions. I will just take an example that if you are having data, this is an hypothetical example, so keep it in mind. If you are having data from national assessment, and if that shows that students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds score significantly lower in mathematics and literacy skills compared to the higher income peers. So that is one of the way to analyze the achievement gap, because we have received the data from the national assessment, right? So how that was evaluated on the basis of dropout rates, college completion rates, course selection, test score, grades, right? On this basis, we can evaluate, right? Then it comes to factor contributing to the achievement gap. That what all factors are there which contribute to the achievement gaps. First, socioeconomic factor. We have already talked about the diversity on the basis of socioeconomic factor. Whether we can eliminate the socioeconomic diversity from the society or not. That is the main question. That elimination is possible. So, see, students from lower income economic background may have less access to the quality educational resources, including work, technology, and extracurricular opportunities. Right? So, what we need? We need a support system. Economic hardships can affect family stability and the extent to which parents can engage with their child's education, right? And that impact the academic success. Okay. Then cultural factor. Students from minority culture may find that their cultural capital is not always acknowledged or valued in mainstream education setting. So now here, what is a cultural capital basically? That is the norms and the values celebrated by their community. That is a cultural capital. If there you are being a teacher, you are biased with a particular culture, right? Then they will feel isolated. Then they will not have an acceptance. For that, we should have a representation. If there's a lack of representation in a curriculum content, teaching staff, role model, that can also lead to the disengagement, lower self-esteem among the minority students. Okay. Then linguistic factor. Language is also one of the barrier, right? So if there's some non-native speaker, then that native speaker may struggle with the language barriers, and that will hinder their understanding of the curriculum and affect their academic performance, right? So even insufficient support for developing proficiency in the dominant language of instruction can widen the achievement gap. Yeah. Then educational factors, teaching practices, inequitable teaching practices, and basically what we opt for one size fit for all. And if we are opting for one size fit for all, that will never serve the purpose, right? We'll not able to meet the diverse learning needs of all the students. For that we have to do the customization. Then policy implementation. Inconsistencies in the implementation of educational policies across different regions and schools can perpetuate achievement gap. Right? So basically, understanding these factors is very crucial for developing effective strategies to close the achievement gap. And this involves creating supportive educational environment that recognize and cater to the diverse backgrounds and needs of all the students. And here solution may include diverse instruction, culturally relevant teaching, robust support, right, for English language learners, and equitable access to resources and opportunities. Now, teacher competencies towards diversity and inclusivity. This is the second part of the second session. So, first is, what are the required competencies for teachers? Cultural competency can be the one. So, how you are going to define the cultural competency? See, first of all, in order to effectively address and embrace diversity in the classroom, teachers need to develop and refine a set of core competencies. And these competencies are essential for creating an inclusive educational environment that acknowledges and respects the various needs of all students. So, when we talk about cultural competency, that is ability to understand, communicate with, and effectively interact with people across cultures. Right? So, integrating this cultural sensitivity into teaching to respect and utilize the cultural differences and value of students as asset in the learning environment is very important, right? Then means we have to apply this cultural competency in the classroom. Differentiation in teaching means we have to customize our instructions to meet the individual needs of students based on their learning levels, styles, and interest. And same thing is there, we have to make it applicable in the classroom activities and in our day-to-day routine. Using once will not serve the purpose. So, implementing a variety of teaching techniques such as flexible grouping, personalized learning path, and varied instructional materials to cater to diverse learning styles and abilities. Very important. Then, assessment adaptation. Modifying assessments to accommodate the diverse learning needs and abilities of students is also play very vital role, right? As earlier I told you that we have to make the pool of assignments to do the justice with the students, right? Because there is a diversity on the basis of learning ability. Again, the same thing is there, that one solution does not fit for all the problems. So for that, we should have a pool of assignments, and we have to keep it open, right? Use a range of assessment methods like oral presentation, projects, written assignments, adaptive tests to verify, to fairly evaluate the progress of all students, including those with special needs, language barrier, disabilities, marginalized students. ठीक है? Now, training and development. Whether any recommendations have been provided by NAP in respect to the training and development of teachers. So, NAP recognizes the necessity for teachers training that specifically focuses on enhancing competencies related to diversity and inclusion. And the policy provides a comprehensive framework for this, emphasizing continuous professional development and support. Earlier, we have talked about the structured framework in respect to what? In respect to the mentorship program, right? So now we are talking about the structured training program in respect to the bridging the achievement gap, and for that we have to provide the training to the teachers. So that basically contain a training modules on cultural competence, differentiated instruction, and inclusive assessment practices, right? Then for that we have to conduct several workshops, online courses, in-service training session conducted by the skilled skilled trainers. Then support for ongoing learning. Now what is that? Mentoring and peer support. So establishing a mentorship system where teachers can learn from experienced colleagues about effectively managing diverse classrooms. Mentorship not only works for the students, it works for each and every person, it also works for the teachers. So see, there are two things: either you opt for the mentorship program or observational techniques, right? You can observe if someone is having good experience, some extra knowledge, how that particular person is working, how the colleague is working, to improve your skills, right? So you can opt for observational techniques also, what we don't do generally, right? So basically there's a provision of access to a rich repository of resources, right, including multimedia materials and case studies that highlight successful diversity responsive teaching strategies, right? Then for the regular updates and upgrades, again there is a need to be a consistency should be there. Once you have learned something that will not serve the purpose, always keep in mind that nothing is static. Only one thing is static, that is the change. So you have to that skill is dynamic in nature. That is an ongoing skill development is an ongoing process. You should keep on upgrading your skills, reskilling. Again, I will say that skill are of two types: hard skill, soft skill, right? And again, I say that one is the acquired skill and one is inherent skill. The skills which are there with you by birth, and some skills which are you are acquiring. So hard skills are always the acquired skills, technical skills, skill needed for some particular to complete some particular task, right? And soft skills are the interpersonal skills, communication skills, leadership skills, right? So keep in mind that you have to upgrade yourself at regular intervals, and you have to align yourself with 21st century, right? And as per the need and circumstances, you have to upgrade and you have to rescale in your own existing skills, right? Then regular updates and upgrades. Just give me a second. Sorry for the interruption. So, by fostering these competencies, teachers are better equipped to manage classroom diversity effectively and efficiently, and while ensuring that all students have the opportunity to learn in an environment that respects and values their individual backgrounds and abilities. So the basically NAP focuses on what? It focuses on the training and development which is designed to support teachers in this critical aspect, promoting an educational atmosphere conducive to learning growth for every student. NAP strategies for minimizing achievement gap. Whether any recommendation have been given by NAP in minimizing the achievement gap or not. Yes, there were certain recommendations given by NAP, right? So NAP introduces several strategic policy measures specifically designed to address and minimize achievement gap, and basically that stem from socio-economic, cultural, and geographical disparities, right? So first, NAP talks about equitable resource allocation. So here, this policy mandate that there should be increase in funding and resource allocation to under-resourced schools, ensuring that schools in disadvantaged regions are equipped with the necessary tools, technologies, and teaching staff to provide a quality education. See, you will see that there is a huge discrimination on the basis of the regions also. You will see differences on rural and urban area also, where there will be a scarcity of the resources, proper allocation of resources, infrastructure, everything is the problem. We can say of the teachers, right? Then NAP talk about special education zones. Establishing special education zones in area with significant educational backlogs and high socioeconomic disparities to provide intensive support and targeted educational programs. Right? Then curriculum standardization and the flexibility. Implementing a standardized curriculum that also allow for the adaptations reflecting local context and need. You have to customize the curriculum and flexibility as per the circumstances and the situation. If you look into the rural area, you have to do certain modifications as per the need, ensuring the relevance and accessibility for all the student is there. See, if you go in rural area and you teach it in complete English, whether they will able to understand? No. So there, what you have to do? You have to opt for the hybrid language. If not for the hybrid, you have to go into the vernacular or a local language to make it understand to these students. Right? Then teacher training and capacity building. Extensive training programs for teachers to develop skills in inclusive pedagogies, multilingual teaching, and culturally responsive teaching methods should be conducted. We and even creating a cadre of inclusion facilitator within district. NAP has taken that initiative that they have established the inclusion facilitators within district to support teachers and schools in implementing inclusive practices effectively. Wherever, if there is a need that teachers are not well versed with the inclusive principle or the inclusivity, then this inclusion facilitator is going to help the teacher and the school in respect to implementing the inclusive principle in the school. Then strengthening assessment system. You have to revamp assessment system to focus more on students understanding and application of knowledge rather than rote memorization. See, we generally say that there is an unemployment rate is more. See, again I will say that there is a two thing: the skill employer needs and the skill job seeker possess. There is a huge gap between these two. I'm again repeating that the skill employers need and the skill job seeker possess. There is a huge gap between these two. That's why unemployment rate is small. Because what we do, theoretical knowledge is provided to the students. Until and unless the student is not well aware about the fact that how to implement it, how to apply it, whether that will serve the purpose, no. So for that we have to develop tools for regular reformative assessment to monitor progress and provide immediate support wherever and whenever needed. Then enhancing parental and community engagement. See that PTM, parent teacher meeting option was there in the schools only. Now it is not there, right? So what we have to promote greater involvement of parents and community in the higher education and even in the learning process, ensuring that education respects and integrate local cultural norms and knowledge, because there is no involvement of parents and community in higher education. Till school it is there. So NAP reiterates a strong commitment to inclusive education, emphasizing the fundamental right of every child to receive quality education irrespective of their background, right? But inclusivity is at the core of educational practice. So for that, NAP outlines measures to ensure that classrooms are not only physically accessible, but also cognitively and culturally accommodating for all the students. Right? If that is physically accessible, but that is not cognitively and culturally accommodating, so whether that will serve the purpose? No, that will not serve the purpose. So emphasis is placed on the creation of inclusive textbook, digital learning material, and educational software designed to be accessible by the students with disabilities. Holistic education. So the policy promotes a holistic education model that values academic, social, and emotional learning, equally supporting the development of all-round development of an individual. Right? So for that we have to introduce school health programs, breakfast programs, wellness initiatives to address the physiological needs that impact the learning outcome. Because there is a direct impact of the physiological need on the learning outcome. And even implementation of bridge program should be there to help students who have fallen behind catch up with their peers, right? So remedial instructions customized to meet individual learning needs and help close the knowledge gap, right? So through these strategic measures, NAP aim to foster an academic system where no child is left behind, focusing on removing barriers to education and actively promoting the conditions necessary for every student to thrive. So this ensures not just educational access, but also the quality and relevance of education that respects and celebrates diversity within the student population. Then, actions to be incorporated. What all actions should be taken in respect to minimizing the achievement gap? That is very important. So, in reference to it, certain uh, recommendations were given by the NAP also. First, differentiated instructions is a teaching approach that involves customized teaching environment, content, process, and product to accommodate diverse learning needs and references of students. And this method is deeply rooted in the understanding that students vary in their abilities, learning styles, readiness level, and interest. But why this differentiated instruction matters? The importance of differentiated instruction lies in its focus on equity, principle of equity, ensuring that every student has an opportunity to succeed. It acknowledges that one size fit for all approach to education does not accommodate the diverse spectrum of learners in a classroom. Right? So by adjusting the curriculum and teaching methods, teacher can create more inclusive learning environment that engage all students and support them in reaching their full potential. There are certain examples for differentiated strategies, flexible grouping, right? And a tiered assignment. Assignments are tiered according to difficulty level but with the same core objectives. We are allowing students to work on tasks that reflect their comprehension level. So we'll try to understand if class, in a maths class, provide three sets of problem that require similar skills but vary in the complexity, ensuring that all students can engage at a level that challenges them without overwhelming them. Right? So basically, different stations. When we are talking about learning stations, this learning stations in the classroom focuses on different aspect of a topic or different methods of learning. So set up stations where students can engage with the material through hands-on activities, training, audiovisual material, and interactive discussions. Okay. Then individual learning patterns should be analyzed. Contract between teacher and the student that outline personal learning goals and pathways to achieve them. So if you are developing learning contract with students who may need to go more in depth into subject or who might need additional resources to catch up for further their understanding. So these strategies highlights the practical application of differentiated instructions in the classroom, allowing teachers to effectively meet the diverse needs of their students. So by integrating these techniques, educators can enhance learning outcome, promote student engagement, and foster a supportive and inclusive educational environment. Next is inclusive assessment practices. So the primary goal of inclusive assessments is to inform and guide instruction rather than merely to evaluate student performance, right? And this shift in perspective is very crucial for understanding the unique needs of each student. We have to identify their strength, their area of improvement, and then we have to customize educational approaches to ensure that all students have the opportunity to succeed, right? And even in inclusive assessments, where inclusive assessments are designed, that should be fair and equitable, providing valuable feedback that support learning and development for students of all backgrounds and abilities. Again, there are certain examples for inclusive assessment methods, portfolios, right? So a portfolio assessment involves collecting a variety of students' work over time, which represent a range of learning activities and achievements. Basically, portfolio allows students to demonstrate their capabilities, reflect on their learning progress, and showcase their skill in a variety of contexts. And this method basically provides a holistic view of student learning and progress rather than focusing on a single point of performance. Okay. It also empowers students by involving them in the assessment process, fostering self-assessment and critical thinking skills. Okay. Then performance tasks. Performance tasks are real-world challenges that require students to apply their knowledge and skill to solve the problem, means brainstorming, critical thinking, or create something tangible. We have to opt for formative assessments. Now, what are the formative assessments? Formative assessments are ongoing assessments that provide continuous feedback to both students and teachers about the learning process. This can include quiz, reflective discussions, peer reviews, informal checks for understanding. Right? So these are the some of the examples for the inclusive assessment practice. Then addressing physical and cognitive needs. See, changes that enable students to access the curriculum. That is very important. That changes need to be done, right? So changes that enable students to access the curriculum and demonstrate their knowledge without altering the content itself. That is important. Accommodation, right? We'll just take an example for it. Extended time for test for a disabled student. Prefer settings and use of assistive technology. These are the some of the examples. Then changes that alter what is being taught to or expected from the teacher. That is modification, right? This could involve simplifying assignments or adjusting the educational expectations to suit the students' learning, which suits students' learning needs, right? Then providing various sitting arrangements such as standing desks, sensory cushions, or quiet corners to accommodate physical and sensory needs, right? Strategies for adapting classroom environment, these are, right? Even ensure that classrooms are wheelchair accessible, have adjustable lighting, minimal noise pollution to cater to the physical requirement of all the students. Then there's one thing, UDL, Universal Design for Learning. Planning sessions with the need of all students in mind from the outset, which can include providing multiple means of representation, expression, and engagement. Okay? We should integrate the technology. Technology can significantly enhance the accessibility for students with diverse learning needs by providing them customized support as per their need, as per their ability, which help in learning, communication, and physical accessibility. Even we should offer assistive technology tools, educational apps and platforms, right? When we are talking about educational apps or platforms, utilization of platforms that offer adaptive learning feature which adjusts the difficulty level of task based on the student's response, right? So these are some of the things. And then supportive social and emotional development. This is also very important if we talk about it. SEL, social emotional learning. We have to integrate the social and emotional learning into daily teaching practices. Now, what is social emotional learning? This SEL involves teaching and facilitating skills, right? That students need to manage emotion, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decision, informed decision, reasonable decision. That is social emotional learning, and we have to integrate into our daily teaching practices. That is essential for not just for student well-being, but it also enhances students' ability to succeed academically and socially. Right? So, what are strategies we can opt for integrating social and emotional learning? Right? So, explicit instruction. Dedicate time each day to teach social emotional learning skills directly to the students. Right? Incorporate social emotional learning principles into the academic content. For an example, discuss characters' emotional response in literature, or explore social dynamics of historical events. Modeling behavior. Demonstrate social emotional learning through your own behavior. This includes showing empathy, practicing active listening, managing your emotion visibly and constructively in the classroom. Right? Then your classroom, build classroom routine which fosters social emotional learning, such as starting the day with a check-in or having students share something positive with the peers, right? Responsive instruction, use teachable moments to address social emotional learning. That will help you, right? Create an inclusive classroom climate. And what is inclusive classroom climate? That is one where students from all backgrounds with all types of abilities feel safe, respected, and valued. It is a space where diversity is recognized as a strength and where every student has the opportunity to contribute and feel connected to the learning process, right? So this is basically inclusive classroom climate. Even there are certain techniques to foster the inclusion. How? We have already done with it, so I will not go into detail. Culturally responsive classroom, encourage voice and agency, right? Social integration activities, accessibility and accommodation. You know? So by implementing these strategies, teachers can significantly enhance the social and emotional development of their students while creating a classroom atmosphere that support diversity and inclusivity. This not only benefits the individual students but also strengthens the social fabric of the classroom, leading to a more cohesive and supportive learning environment for each and every individual in the class. Right? So that is the main thing. Thank you. That's it from my side. But again, the call for action is the same. That ball is in the court of academicians. We have to implement the provision of NEP in our own education institution. In our day-to-day routine, we have to integrate the provision of NEP because we don't have much time. Merely having the policies will not serve the purpose until and unless the teachers are playing their role of catalyst effectively and efficiently. Thank you. Open for question and answer. I will request host to unmute the participants so they may ask the questions.
पार्टिसिपेंट को ऑलरेडी अनम्यूट किया है, आपको कुछ क्वेश्चन होंगे मैम जिससे आप पूछ सकते हैं।
And if you all just want to share your
Any
point
question?
of view that what all problem do you face in your class, you can share that also. If we can get some solution.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Myself, Professor D.V. Pawar, Ichalkanji, Maharashtra.
Okay, sir.
We are belonging from the semi-urban area with the villages. So many students are coming from villages,
Yes,
and
sir.
they are connected to the agricultural activities.
Yes, very true.
So attendance of the students are very mere, and that's why
Agreed.
that new economic policy, whatever we are deciding, it is highly impossible to inculcate or incorporate in that students because they are not aware in that. What we
So,
can do?
see, awareness plays a vital role. In starting in our first session, when we are talking about the goal of NEP, I told you that what is the goal that we have to achieve the 100% youth and adult literacy rate.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, I told you that that is not possible at a first instance. We have to take the gradual step. And even the part 3 of the constitution in which article 21A says in respect to right to an education, तो वो हमारा एक fundamental right है. We have to
बराबर.
spread that awareness among the rural area that you have these facilities. सर अगर हम कोई ग्रेजुअली स्टेप्स लेंगे तब होगा, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली अगर उनको फैसिलिटीज मिल रही है, प्रॉपर क्लासेस रन हो रही है, क्योंकि अर्बन एरिया में एक ये भी प्रॉब्लम आती है कि प्रॉपर क्लासेस रन नहीं होती, वेरी ऑनेस्ट, ठीक है, तो उनका सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस और टूटता है। हमको क्या करना है, जाके डिग्री लेनी, कुछ पढ़ना तो है नहीं, समझ तो आना नहीं है, विल नॉट
बराबर.
एबल, हम स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स नहीं बन पाएंगे। मैंने स्टार्टिंग में कहा था प्रोवाइडिंग एन एम्प्लॉयमेंट इज नॉट आवर पर्पस, our purpose is to make the student employable. If we are making them, they will automatically get an employment, right? So uske liye we have to spread the awareness. That's why I told you that ball is in the court of academicians. I know there is a heavy pressure on the academicians that हमें इतने सारे steps लेने पड़ेंगे, but in gradual steps you will see the changes. कि हम उन्हें अगर मोटिवेट करते हैं, स्मॉल स्मॉल, इफ विल ट्राई टू, जो मैंने अभी सोशल इमोशनल लर्निंग की बात करी, अगर आप उस चीज को इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हैं सर, थोड़े से टाइम में आपको चेंजेस दिखेंगे डेफिनेटली, बट वी हैव टू डू इट. बर्डन इज ऑन अस.
in this regard.
अटेंडेंस से ग्रेजुअली होगी. मैं कहती हूँ ना, पियर्स का काम बहुत वाइटल है. जितना हम समझाएंगे ना, नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा, बट पियर्स के बोलने का फर्क पड़ेगा, ये आप देख लीजिएगा. तो उसके लिए व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू एनकरेज देम, वी हैव टू डेवलप द पॉजिटिव resilience, positive attitudinal development should be there. So if it is in one of the student, definitely after seeing that student, other student will also get encouraged, but it will take time, it will happen if you will start it.
But we have decided to it is complete up to the 35.
Pardon, sir?
We have decided to complete this NEP up to the 35.
So you take now, see, gradually changes will be there, not 100%, but at least 20% changes will be there. And how you will analyze it? Ki dropout rates have been reduced, attendance has been increased, right? With the help of these tools, we can analyze. Fine, we're not able to achieve 100%, but at least 20% we have progressed.
We are making this sincere effort, madam.
Huh?
We are making sincere effort in this regard.
Oh, that's good. Very good, sir. Okay, highly appreciate it.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else? So, can we conclude today's session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, and all the best for future endeavor, and even all the best for exam. There's a test in last. Okay.
Thank you.
Ma'am.